last thing I ever needed was this rap shit. Going backwards, Comedina on the bad bitch.
Mr. Nice Guy, it was time since the go watch. Pull up on the block, niggas shocked that they whole stop. Stand niggas down back in the day, got no prop. Think these bitches work for FedEx the way they throw box. I had to work hard, others had to cook it. Street smart vet, hella far from a rookie. Duck Central Bookie, pretty good.
That's AUG and So Sincere hating on me. This your boy Ty Hill, a.k.a. Mr. Fuck Your Opinion, a.k.a. I'ma say it, you ain't gonna do shit about it.
And this your girl Carmen, a.k.a. Miss Extra Opinionated. What up, Ty?
What it do, what it do? We are now on episode 3 of the Cards Face Up podcast. How was your week, young lady?
It was cool. I'm tired of quarantine. Love my family, need to get away from them.
I think we all are at that point, especially since we have the second round coming back, or should we say the first round never left because niggas couldn't stay the fuck in the house anyway.
Word.
Okay. So look, we gonna jump right into it, Carmen. You feel me? I got a question. If any at all, how much of an influence do you think urban music has on today's generation and the way they carry themselves? You know, like, do you think urban music plays a part in the type of humans that we have out this motherfucker?
Absolutely. Everybody want to be a bad bitch. Everybody want to be a real nigga. I think that at this point in life, we have human beings imitating what they hear on the radio as opposed to artists giving us a view of what's happening in life.
Okay. I think I agree. I think especially on the urban aspect of it.
Right,
you
absolutely.
know, urban music and the type of lyrics that you get, you know.
So one of my friends is a teacher or was a teacher, and she taught some kids who didn't know how to spell their names, didn't know much. They came to her with deficits, and she taught them through music. And it was phenomenal how she turned them around through music. And we learned subconsciously a lot through music. So I just pulled up some lyrics from our beloved City Girls. Their song Jobs. And I just want you to tell me what you think goes through a 12-year-old girl's mind when she hears this. Nasty but classy, Birkin bag me, spend a couple thousand on my titties and my ass cheeks, get my teeth done, cash at me, sneak dissing on the gram, bitch at me, where my bad bitch is looking for an athlete, Fashion Nova dress and ain't wearing no panties, dope boy scam nigga, where they at? I just seen 100 bottles coming from the back. I don't work jobs. I am a job. Woo. You don't like it? Take a hike. Pay me for a suck and a slob. I'm a rich ass bitch with an attitude. Pipe it down before I whoop you like your mama do.
Okay. And that's who?
City Girls. Jobs.
That's like 2019, 2020 shit?
I believe this is on the latest album, if I'm not mistaken.
So your question is, in 2020, basically, how is a 12-year-old girl viewing that type of lyrics, right?
Or is she even viewing it? Is it just being ingrained in her psyche?
So then we have to revert back to how the fuck they felt at 12 years old in like 96 when Lil' Kim was like, moral of the story is if you ain't licking this, you ain't sticking this. And I got the witness. Ask my nigga I've been with. Hold up, what she say? Ask any nigga I've been with. They ain't hit this till they stuck their tongue in this. I ain't with that front and shit. You know, that was Lil' Kim.
Yeah.
In 95, 96.
So that was kind of my heyday, right? And I probably was internalizing some of that. But I felt like she was more of a sexual. I think for Lil' Kim, for us, and people might disagree, she was more of a sexual revolution, right? Like to say...
What?
No, she really was, because, you know, we still in the times in the 90s where people or men are thinking that women don't even orgasm still, some of them. So for Lil' Kim to come in raw... maybe we shouldn't have been listening to it either, but I still felt like it was more of like a sexual revolution going on.
Do you think that she but do you think she changed what women are at that time?
She created a space for women to not be fake about how they feel about sex.
So why are we so judgmental upon when you got the young ladies that you was just now saying that right now at our older age, you know, it sounds so ratchet. But reality, when we was 12 listening to Lil' Kim talk that same shit, every nigga wanted their dick sucked by a chick like Lil' Kim. Reality, you feel me? Like, we was 12 wanting chicks that act like Lil' Kim. Right. You know what I'm saying? So when you got the people like the City Girls or, you know, Meg Stallion and, you know, all those ones that's real big and popular and they're promoting sex, how are we so mad at them? You know, is that just the oldness in motherfuckers like, yo, my God, it's nasty, this, that, and another, when we had Lil' Kim, we had Foxy, we had everybody that was promoting sex.
So it may be that I am a little hypocritical. It may be with age, you know, you grow, you get a little more reserved.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that I think that a lot of the artists now are promoting that just being a regular girl isn't okay, right? That your hair isn't enough, that your body isn't enough, that being nice isn't enough, that every nigga got to cash you out, you know, and, you know, your expectations of a regular man isn't enough.
I agree with that part, because we're definitely at the we're in a space now when a female is looking at their job as, you know, kind of with the rap, I'm talking about on rap lyrics, they're looking at it as their job is to get over on a nigga. How can I get this bag from him? How can I get that from him? XYZ. You know, it's kind of basically prostitution. You only fucking if you paying. You feel me? That's basically what a lot of the music I hear today from the females, versus when we looking at the Lil' Kims or the Foxy Browns and ones like that. Back in that era, you know, it was more like, nigga, I'm getting down just like you.
Right, we
me?
shoulder to shoulder.
Exactly.
Yeah,
My nigga's going to put the pistol to you and we going to take what we want.
And I'm going to be right there with them.
Exactly,
Yeah.
if that's how we feel. But then we got to also go into the respect of my lady, who I believe is like one of the prettiest people in the industry, which is Janelle Monáe. You feel me? She released a quote the other day. She said, I really only ever want to hear women rapping. The amount of misogyny from most of the men in the rap and music is infuriating. We need to abolish that shit too. So she released that quote sometime last week, I believe. What do you feel about that quote in a time that we just now spoke of? How the fuck could you feel like that?
I think the women have internalized what men, so it's like 6 in one hand, half dozen in another. One hand washes another. My uncle raised me to believe that men will do what women want them to do. So women hold the cards to the culture, right? So if black women and black young women stop dating men who was out here getting money and doing stuff they wasn't supposed to, the men would stop. Right? He was like, if you can't get the keys to the cookie without being a straight-laced dude, then you'll be a straight-laced dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think on the other end, for women, I think we kind of feel like, we've kind of been indoctrinated in these are the women that get ahead. Being a good girl doesn't get you ahead, right? You got to be a bad bitch. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So how can someone like Janelle Monáe feel as though it's misogyny going on in the rap community with the men? How, when... If I'm correct, that word means what? Dislike for women, right? Like it's basically a dislike towards women, degrading, all of that type of shit with women. But
kind of like a pig.
How the fuck do I respect what you're not respecting?
I think we've adapted to it, because think about hip hop historically has been
then
inherently misogynistic.
So it's Lil' Kim fault. The same thing that you said.
No, not just Lil' Kim. I'm talking about in general, like male hip hop artists. Hip hop culture has always been misogynistic. Every now and again, you get a hip hop artist telling you to be a queen and talking about your beauty. Is that the man fault? If the description of a woman is, or a description of chicks is this, and that's what's selling, I'm going to probably do it. Especially when the women are releasing this same image of their self. I think that if the women have drunk the Kool-Aid.
That's not our fault, though. That's not the rapper's fault. And that's not. I think Janelle doesn't make sense with what she's saying, because how can you want to listen to the women rapping when they rapping about the same shit? The way they describe a bad bitch is the same way I describe a bad bitch. We might fuck them together according to what these chicks saying. So we.
I don't necessarily agree with her comment, because I like male hip hop. So
male hip hop,
and I like female hip hop. I like female artists who don't come out prissy, who come out very aggressive and masculine. So some of these hot girl anthems, I might, listen to one or two of them. I do a lot of work with kids, and they might listen to one or two of them. I don't like, vilify them for it. But we have to understand that this is not like, we can't promote this to our girls, because then you just keep making these quote unquote bad bitches who, I mean, where are you going except for prison? Like in these lyrics, if I listen to these lyrics, where are you sending these girls?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree that if it goes the way that the music is telling it to go, then yeah, but I don't know how much control that it has over the type of humans that we have out here. So
it has a bunch of it may be one of the biggest factors though, because if I wake up in the morning, I'm getting dressed and I put on my music and my music is telling me, that I need to spend money on my titties and my ass cheeks, right? Because what I have isn't enough. If my music is telling me that I need to scam a nigga, or if a nigga don't have enough to buy me a Birkin bag, then I can't mess with him.
Every day. Well, I skipped a lot also, but the days that I went to high school, I listened to Tupac on my way there. And it was thug life, this, fuck the world, all that type of shit. It didn't make me want to go in there and fuck my teacher up.
But it wasn't only. Brenda was having a baby. He was keeping your head up. So it wasn't. I was
listening to the thug life, the thug shit. You feel me? We're talking. The Are You Still Down? Or no, I'm not even gonna say the Are You Still Down. You feel me? The All Eyes on Me, Pac. You feel me? It was really no lift your head up, nigga. We was straight on death row talking shit. So, it didn't make me want to go shoot a fucking classroom up or no shit like that. It didn't make me want to thug it out unless I already felt like that. You feel me? Now, I also, on the other end, I used to be a teacher. And I remember watching this little kid listen to some gangster shit. And this nigga did like a whole 360.
Right, you see it in their eyes and their bodies.
He like turned into the artist that he was listening to.
But I want to pause for a minute and rewind you back to walking to school listening to Tupac. What was your home life? What foundation and so did you have? So what I had to come to grips with is I like a lot of ratchet music. I like a lot of gangster music, right? But I had a good foundation. Well, right. I had a good but everybody doesn't have a good foundation. Everybody don't come from a house where, you got mom and a dad working, or you got grandparents that are working and owning homes and are professionals, or, just speaking life into you. Right. So if you come into a home where nobody is teaching you much, right. All you got is the city girls.
I was able to, and I always speak of that. You feel me? I think one of the things that separates me from others is the fact of having both sides. So I was able to see my father work a 9 to 5 every day of his life, and his dream and his goals was to make sure that he provided for his family. But we also have to remember I come from a parent that was an addict. Her addiction ultimately killed her. You dig what I'm saying? So I was able to see both sides. All of my aunts, majority of that side of my family were addicts. So I come from that background. I come from a background of we didn't have a lot.
But you had a dad who could speak life into you. And to tell you were more, like, I want you to be more. It's possible for you.
But we have, all right, so then we have to think about growing up in the 90s, and you had people, community figures that did that. And I think this is one of the things that separates. I think right now so many people are misguided with music or misunderstand music, and they're so harsh on judging of the music because it doesn't have any separation. When we grew up, you did have the Little Kims. But you also had the MC Lights, the Yo-Yos. You also had the Queen Latifahs. You had people that used to give you a mixture. And being that you used to get a mixture of that shit, it was a lot to choose from. So you were able to.
There was always somebody speaking life. Like, that's what I like. You got the poor righteous teachers. Like, I'm like listening to music. Like, who is the conscious rapper? Like, who's the Asiatic black man coming to tell y'all that y'all are kings? You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what's different now.
Everybody, it's a carbon copy. And so you also have actors, right? So you have actors. Like, these artists, you're acting most of them. I'm not saying that some of them don't come from the slums, but everybody is not moving weight. No, this is not the 90s, it's right? Impossible. Everybody is not moving weight. Everybody I can't buy no Birkin. And how many niggas out there are really buying women Birkin bags, right? Not to say that there aren't still some guys out there who can afford those things, or women who can afford those things. But the average Joe, like we're not talking about quad pay, just walk in the store and be able to pay it. That's not happening. And so I think that we got a lot of people posing and acting, and you don't have a lot of teachers. So I'm going to say this, something that's probably going to get me hate mail, but I feel like when the epicenter of hip hop left the North, it lost its consciousness. It lost its purity.
I agree. And the only reason I'm interjecting so quick is because I'm trying to save you, little nigga.
I'm going to get the hate mail.
I agree. But it left by choice. It was released. You understand what I'm saying? The North is still big enough to make
No,
music.
it wasn't released.
No, I'm gonna tell you why it was released.
It was stolen.
Listen,
repackaged.
I'm gonna tell you why it was released. Because every New York nigga sound like a down south nigga. Every Baltimore nigga is sounding like down south niggas. But y'all allowed your image. See, and this is during the time that I was doing music. The image was allowed to leave. And instead of us saying us up north, we started to conform to what was down south.
Because it became about the dollars.
But we never did that shit for West Coast. West Coast has always been selling. West Coast has always sold platinum and shit like that. Mac 10, you ain't never had a fucking Mac 10 album in your whole life.
Right.
Mac 10 still has sold records. You ain't never had a Dub C. Nobody bought a West Side fucking Connection album. Them niggas has always sold. The closest we have bought was motherfucking Ice Cube, and that's only because...
Nipsey.
That's only because Nipsey... Niggas wasn't even buying Nipsey shit.
I bought Nipsey.
But that was it after his death or before?
No, it was before.
Majority bought it after. Now, this not to take away from anybody from West Coast saying that they wasn't dope. I think,
but they support their own. They make, they do. They support their own.
They were big enough. But when they were shining, because they shined the whole
Too short.
time.
Yeah,
niggas wasn't trying to beat them. E40, all of that. Like niggas wasn't trying to beat them. When Down South got to popping, that stinky leg. Oh. Like all that shit, like we started doing it.
And it dumbed it down. I feel like it dumbed it down.
You got niggas in East Coast making snap songs and snap, we lost our identity and we tried to conform to what was selling. And I understand the business aspect of it.
But let me pause you for a minute. It's the business, because I think that you have to, I guess, distinguish rap from hip hop, right? So I think that hip hop was never really about the money. But a lot of artists were starving, and a lot of those older artists are starving now, right? And so when you find out, know that this art form that we can make money off of it. You go what the flow is. You go where the sound is. But is that good? Because where the sound is intentionally, I feel like, dumbing you down. It's like you get these white corporate dollars, right? And they repackage your product and tell you this is what's going to sell. And then they put the money out there to shove it down your throat every day. And now you have to listen to mumble rap. Now, Lil Wayne is one of my favorite rappers, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think he's the king of mumble rap. But everybody can't mumble like Lil Wayne and be a lyricist at the same time, right? And so you're just hearing like nursery rhymes in your ears, and it's easy to catch on to. You can catch it. And so like I just think these kids are just running with it, and they're just indoctrinated.
But I mean, I think we answered the question. Literally the
question.
Did
you cut me off?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I just look, I think that it was answered. You know, we made a point of music does affect how the type of people that we have today, for sure. We agree with that, right?
Yeah.
But do we also agree that the different types of music is what's really affecting the children of today? Because it's no variety of.
Right,
so
it's all carbon copies.
Stuck with that one type.
Right.
So if we get more, then it would be more. But I still believe Janelle Monáe, her statement made no fucking sense, because the same things that you're mad at, you can't be mad at the men for that type of behavior if you're not mad at the women for giving that same exact behavior. So that's what we gonna rock with, right?
But shout out to Lil Baby on his last song, though, because Lil Baby's last song was conscious. I don't remember the actual song, but his song about the riots and oppression was dope.
Yeah, I agree. But sometimes when you get stuff like that, if you ain't spoke about it before the situation, are you really actually with the movement, or are you trying to make money with the movement?
He was in the streets.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead. Here's on to a better topic, or a more serious topic, not better.
That's misogyny. What you just did was misogynistic.
And look, I do a lot of misogynistic shit. So listen, here in 2020, Carmen, and you got children, you feel me, and a lot of our listeners have children. So my question is, which way are you steering your 16-year-old child when they talk about the future? Are you steering them towards college, or are you steering them more into a trade?
It depends on which child we're talking about.
Your 16-year-old child.
I don't have a 16-year-old
child. It
doesn't
matter. We're talking about your 16-year-old child.
No, so I have 4 kids, right? Every child is different. Just because your kid gets straight A's in high school don't mean that they're going to do good in college. Every child is not meant for college. And so I think that if a child is interested in college, then we should steer them towards college. If a child is interested in a trade, then we should steer them towards a trade.
Okay, so let's make a scenario. Your child is a strong C all through high school. They're strong C, so they're not going to get too many scholarships and things of that sort, or grants and things of that, what are you steering them towards? Are you steering them towards, hey, take out a loan and get you some education beyond high school? Or are you steering them to, hey, let's spend a couple dollars right now and start your trade because it's going to, you should go that direction.
I'm going to ask what they want, first of all.
They're confused because they're 16.
Well,
they want to listen to City Girls.
We assume that they're all confused, and they're not. A lot of them know a little bit. You know, of course, they're 16, they're 17, they're 20. They don't know everything, but they know themselves a little bit and what they're interested in. We also have to understand that trade school is a scam a lot of times too, and it's overpriced for the trade, the certificate that you're getting. And so there's community college, right? Mm-hmm. In some states, like I think I went to community college, and I think that I got a better education than some people in my field that went to 4-year institutions, right? Especially when you go to a good community college that's worth its weight, who has a reputation. And so, again, I think it's dependent upon the child. Every child is not going to be a college grad, right? And I don't want my kid to waste 4 years in college and $120,000 on a degree that they don't want.
So we're talking about the aspect of 4-year college usually averages somewhere around like 127, $127,000 versus a trade school that averages somewhere about 33,000. So we're talking about a difference of damn near 94,000.
But what's the earning potential?
Yeah, but even when you think about the earning potential, you feel me? What if you're saving 94,000? It leaves. I mean, if you're in the whole 127,000, you feel me? How much actual disposable income do you have after you actually finish the 4-year college? Like how much? I mean, you're 127,000 in the hole versus being 33,000, and I think that's more of what our listeners is getting confused with. The ones that are parents, they're actually trying to figure out, like, yo, how am I telling my child to go spend $120,000 to make maybe $60,000 a year? You feel me? Or $70,000 a year, and they fucking in a hole $127,000 versus they could have spent 33 and had a career. And I mean, most of these trade school jobs, I mean, they're coming out making 60, 70. I mean, the trade schools are going damn near neck and neck with what graduates are making now. I
mean, we need trades. So we need people in the trades, right? So if your kid is interested in plumbing, by all means, go to school and become a plumber, right? But if your kid is interested in maybe being a nurse or a doctor or an attorney or a psychologist, then I don't see my kid go to college if you want to go to college. If you mess it up, okay, such is life, right? That's part of that's part of growing.
Isn't that part of our job in parenting? Our job in parenting is to help them avoid some of the mistakes that we can.
Our job in parenting as they get older becomes to be an advisor, right? So it's kind of like when your baby is walking, right? And you may see that they're stumbling and going to fall. Sometimes you have to allow them to fall, right? And so at points in parenting older children, you're no longer the guide. You're just an advisor. And that's a hard transition. So you can say, I don't think my kid is ready for college. And they really want to go to college. Well, maybe we're not going to go to Harvard, right? But let's go to this local college. Or maybe your kid is not ready to go to do any of that, but you got to get a job. And it's okay. You'll figure it out. I would say as a parent, I have kids. My kids are across the range in stages. But I think as a parent, you definitely have to pray. Whatever spiritual practice that you subscribe to, you need to seek guidance. And you don't look at the culture. Don't look at the community. Because your kid may be doing something that's very traditional and that may work for them, or your kid may set out to do something that's just new and innovative and that people don't understand, and that may work out for them also. So again, I just think it's individualized.
I think I agree. I agree it's individualized, but if I had to make a decision, and understanding that, certain jobs takes education, you feel me, the formal education of 4-year college or grad school and all of that type of stuff, your doctors, your lawyers and things of that sort. So I do understand you have to have that type of education for certain careers. Mm-hmm. But me being a college student before, I do also understand that most people are going to college just because they're told that college is the next step after 12th grade. And most don't have a plan of what they even want to be. So what I would say is if the plan is not mapped out, I think that's one of the biggest things is mapping out the plan before we even discuss where we going next. Let's map out the plan of what we want to obtain in life. And of course, at 16, 17, you don't know fully, but you do have an understanding of what you would want to be. Most of us change who we want to be after that because of circumstances and things of that sort once we graduate and all of that type of shit. But reality at 16, man, the 16-year-olds I know, they kind of know where they want to go, you know, and they have an idea of it. So I think we need to start mapping out those plans with our children. And then we decide what's the best next step. You feel me? If we're talking about Lil Rah-Rah, you know, and y'all know I love that name. So Lil Rah-Rah, you know, he's the ghetto guy and he's the smart guy. So y'all always thought Lil Rah-Rah was the ghetto guy. But anyway, Lil Rah-Rah is telling me, look, Pops, I want to go to college. I want when I graduate, I want to start my own business. I don't know what it's going to be, you know. Now I got to talk to Lil Rah-Rah of versus back in my day, it was, oh, you go to college and you do business. What? Like that shit was so many people that I graduate with majored in business.
Yeah, I'm not.
It didn't make no fucking sense.
Unless you know what track you want to go, like business, finance, marketing, things like that. But if you just going for business, well, then you can go to the community college and get an associate's degree and figure more out once you start taking those classes and understand what you want. But also it gives them, college is the place where kids get to be mini adults, right? So you're almost an adult, but you're not really an adult. And there are still rules that apply. And I think that it's a great step, even if you don't become an attorney. And then I think the elephant in the room that we forget is that you want to send your kid away to college to be a doctor and a lawyer, but you have not raised a doctor and a lawyer, right? You didn't sit down. I have one friend who, when her and her boyfriend, I believe at the time, got pregnant, they sat down and made a list, like house or apartment, married or we going to stay single, private school, public school. You know what I mean? And they really sat down and planned out how they wanted to raise their child. Right. And they work, like you said, they work that plan. Right.
Right.
And so we're not necessarily doing that. My daughter, you know, at one point she wanted to be a doctor. Like, OK, well, I know some black lady doctors. Do you want to meet some? Yeah. So I call a black lady doctor on the phone. Hey, my daughter's in the background. She wants to meet you. Right. Because they also don't see it, right? Who do a lot of our kids see in the neighborhood? They don't necessarily see doctors and lawyers and judges, you know, and chemists, you know. So I think it's important to expose them to people. And I think it's also important to put in the work to raise productive human beings, successful human beings.
Agreed. So your stance on that is what? Basically...
Depending on the kids, let your heart, let God, let your heart and your kids' heart guide them to where they need to be. Okay,
my stance is figure out what they want to do first and then make the decision accordingly. I do not believe that college is the next step for everyone.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's basically it. So this week we have a listener submitted question, Carmen.
Oh, Lord.
Look, you know, our listeners be on some shit sometimes, but this one right here, I felt as though I really wanted to touch on it. You feel me? So it say, yo, Ty, I've been with my baby mother for about 7 years, and we have one child together, and we have 2 stepchildren, right? I love her, but she drinks way too much. It's nothing new, but I thought by now she would have grown out of it, but instead it's just getting worse. Should I leave or should I stay? Dun, dun. What you doing, Carmen? Your nigga drinking a little bit too much. Y'all got, because you got 8 kids. 7 of them is yours, and 1 of them is his. What you doing? You staying or you leaving?
I think it just depends. Addiction is so hard to deal with. Addiction is so hard, and the person has to want to get healthy, right? And we don't always. It's hard when you love someone who is in active addiction. It is hard to accept the fact that they have the right to stay in active addiction. And it should never be that I'm getting clean or I'm getting sober because my spouse wants me to. Yes, you should not be a narcissist, and you should be mindful of the people around you and what you're doing to them. But it has to be, I want to get well because of me, right? Because if it's for someone else, I feel like they always fail.
Well, it always fails that way.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, my family background is a lot of addiction. And my family members that I speak with about that, those addictions always make it clear that I have to do it for self. Nothing else means that much to me at that time.
Right, not even your kids.
It can't. Mm-mm. How can it? You know, I'm reality, you got to love self more than anything else. So if I'm already hurting self, how can you tell me to care about anybody else? You know, no matter how much love I got for them, no matter none of that stuff, you know, I have to do it for self.
Yeah, and
because how does that work if the thing that you're doing it for is no longer here tomorrow? You know, you're doing it for that 17-year-old child, that 16-year-old child, and now they done moved out and went to college because Carmen told them to go to fucking college.
Or they get hit, or they get in a car accident, or, you know, like, and they're no longer here. What are you going to do?
I don't want to kill little rah-rah.
But it happens.
It does.
Right? And so vocationally, like, I have to understand that addiction is a disease. People's
is it a disease
bodies,
or a choice?
Well, it begins as a choice, right? So I will say when I was younger, I had an unhealthy relationship with alcohol. So I drank a lot more than I should have. I would never say addiction. Like, I never needed an eye opener, nothing like that. But I partied a lot and I drank a lot.
And you had 8 fucking kids. You definitely had an addiction.
Not quite 8. And so the difference, though, is that an addict's body is physically dependent upon the drug. Right. And so we have to remember that, like, somebody's body can be dependent upon Visine. People can get dependent upon laxatives. Right. Your body can stop its normal function when you put so much of a substance into it. And it's hard to accept that when you're watching someone you love destroy themselves.
So what we going to tell him? What you want to tell him? Talk to him.
Is he really ready to make that step to leave? And is he really ready to accept the fact that you may leave and she may continue to drink and it may kill her? And you have to keep stepping.
My answer is, that was a good answer too. My answer is, get the fuck away from, listen, love, you make your decision on love. And I don't think that it's always going to be the right decision if you're thinking with your heart. So when you have a child involved, you have to think with more than your heart. You have to think with your actual brain. So you have a child involved. And you need to make a choice that benefits everyone. But the most important person in that choice has to be that child.
Right.
So if that addiction is now hurting that child, then you have to move on. So it doesn't mean, me personally, I don't think I would give up right away. But he made it clear that
this ain't new.
He's been waiting some time. So if you've been waiting some time and they still can't get it right, see, it's a difference. It doesn't sound like she failed.
It sounds like she hasn't tried.
It sounds like she hasn't even tried.
Right, and it may
I'd
be
gone. I'd be like, fuck
right,
you.
You may be her crutch.
Exactly.
Right? You may be the crutch, like, oh, he ain't going nowhere. We gonna always eat because he gonna make sure there's food here. We gonna always, have lights because he's gonna make sure they're on,
so
right?
I gotta
not caring about what she does to him. I just want to say to all people, that love does not equal staying, right? I can love you and
From
not be with you.
Distance.
Yeah. I can love you and not date someone else.
I can't love you more than you love your fucking self. So
right.
I gotta go. Me personally, I'm getting the fuck out the relationship because you haven't tried. So
right.
If you haven't tried and you're not willing to try, see, it's a different thing when you're talking about addiction. I know that from growing up that addiction does involve failure sometimes. Right. So I could work with you. We could try to get that over. Now, I ain't talking about you're going to fail over and over and over and fucking again, and I'm going to stay there. You feel me? But our friendship, our love, if that's what it really was, I'm always going to be there to help you through it, whether we're together, whether we're not together. But if you're willing, if you're not even willing to try, look, I got to go. Because now you're hindering my life. You're holding me down. You're hurting my child.
And you're an enabler at this point.
Exactly. So look, homie, what I'm going to say is, if she's not willing to at least try, get the fuck out of there. You feel me? And you should have been did it, in my opinion.
Do an intervention.
Exactly. Intervention is funny. But, yo, look, I got another question for you, Carmen, in life, right?
What?
In life. being that you got 19 baby fathers, what's more important to you? To be loved or to be respected?
Again, I guess it comes with ages and stages. Well, I don't know. If you don't respect me, you don't love me.
That's not true. How the fuck is that true?
Maybe it's not true for people who don't know themselves.
We disrespected our parents so much and we loved them. The fuck, I just wanted to do what the fuck I wanted to do.
That's a child. I'm an adult. If I'm dealing with an adult man who can't respect me, then I can't be with you. I got to get to the respect before I can get to the love.
My opinion is I'd rather be respected. I don't really give a... Love is contingent upon so many bullshit factors that I care less about. You know, how did they treat me today? Did they do what I wanted them to do?
No, that's not love.
But no, that's literally the factors that people is contingent upon. You look at what people, I don't love him today. Yo, you get on my nerve. All that shit, it's a bunch of bullshit that love be based around, and it's be like, yo, I just want the respect. Just
so wait a minute. So pause. You okay if your lady respects you, but you don't feel the love. When you come home, you don't feel like this a lap you could lay your head in. This is your safe space from the world.
See, now we have made a relationship.
Wait a minute. That I see nothing, I see no one else, or I see nothing else but good in you. Or there is bad in you, but I love you in spite of the bad. I love you through the bad, right? Because I feel like respect, I don't know. I go back and forth on this topic.
We've put it on, now you categorize it as relationship. You categorize it as man, woman, or whatever the fuck it is. Relationship. I never said that. I said in life, what matters the most to you. Love or respect. Now, when we're talking about choosing a partner for ourselves, I think it gets a little bit different. You feel me? Because you got to remember, in relationships, a lot of people still have entanglements. Right? So, knowing that relationships are set up a little different than everything else, we can always change how we're wording this question, but this question was just in life. Miss, don't touch my hair. Miss, 19 baby fathers. Miss, what was your one day?
Mind your business.
So,
but I think it's still kind of, I think if I love someone, I'm going to respect them. If I love someone, I'm going to want to do things that honor them and make them happy. I'm not going to want them to feel disrespected. Right. And that's not to say that when you love somebody, you don't mess up and maybe disrespect them because, you're a human being who makes poor choices sometimes. But I think overall, if you love me, you'll respect me. Even my friends. I love my friends. I don't have a lot of people that I really call friend. I love my friends. So I'm just not going to disrespect you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not going to out and out disrespect you because I love you. Right. But just respect. I don't want no relationship with just respect. That's a colleague. That's not a friend. That's not a parent. That's not a cousin or a husband.
But I think respect and love, they run hand in hand sometimes. Right. But when you get, what did Locke say? First, I want the money, then I want the power, then I want the motherfucking respect. I ain't say first I want the love. Man, fuck that shit. Listen.
And weren't they also talking about the drug game?
No, them niggas went to college too, so I don't fucking know. This is what I'm saying, man. I need respect first. Respect, it's not contingent upon nothing. It's literally love, yeah. I show people respect no matter what.
But respect is gonna come before love. Anyway.
No, it's not, because in the world that we live, motherfuckers don't respect people.
Well, if I respect people.
Motherfuckers got to have something done to be respected. You feel me? It's like literally. You got to do something to like respect is supposed to be earned. In my opinion, it's not supposed to be earned. I give you respect from the jump.
I think there's a level of respect because I respect myself. You can lose that
motherfucking respect. It's different. I'm gonna treat you from day one how I want to be treated.
So pause. I respect myself. So because I respect myself, I'm gonna put out a certain air of respect in the atmosphere, no matter what. Right?
Most people don't.
Oh well, I apologize. They need to go to therapy. And so because of that, I'm just going to come in the gate with respect, right? So I might not love you and we might be dating, or I might not love you and we may be hanging out as friends, but I am going to respect you and I am going to foster an environment where we respect each other.
I get you.
But I will say this. If I love you, if I'm in relationship with you, once I no longer respect
niggas is
you,
out here disrespecting, and females is out here disrespecting
Listen.
the shit out of the person that they love. Is my motherfucking point. So fuck the love
but listen,
shit, nigga.
if I can disrespect you, I can no longer be in relationship with you.
Yeah, but it's a lot of people you love that you ain't in relationships with.
But when I say in relationship, I don't necessarily mean romantic relationship. If I can disrespect you openly and be comfortable with that, if I no longer have respect for you as a man, then I can't be your friend because I'm going to continue to disrespect you.
Oh, so you just a disrespectful ass motherfucker.
When I become disrespectful, yes.
I could dig it. Listen, give me respect. I don't need shit else. You'll love me because I'm a slick ass motherfucker and you supposed to love me.
Nah.
No, I'm really that loving, so you're gonna love me. But
Not that loving.
I need respect. Fuck all the rest of the shit. And you want love.
I want both.
Yeah, we see. That's what I'm saying. My shit. If you respect me, you're gonna learn to love me because I'm a loving motherfucker. That's what I mean. But you can be loved and not be respected. That's my motherfucking point. But then we have another motherfucking issue out in this motherfucking world that I'm tired of hearing. It's the age-old question, Carmen. If real shit, it's the age-old question from the city girls. Should a man pay all the bills of the household?
Yes. No.
I was so hurt when you said yes. I said, damn, I thought she was a real ass nigga.
No. In 2020, the way these bills is coming through and these jobs is paying and these women,
Look, this is always my favorite conversation when I have it with females. Females like, a man is supposed to lead. He should do this.
Yes,
oh,
protect,
my
provide.
Nigga, yo, I had one female tell me, my grandfather paid all the bills. Bitch, your grandfather's house cost $20,000. 20 fucking.
But how much compared to the cost of living was different then,
don't care. It cost $20 fucking thousand.
But what did you? How did you live?
This is this is where I get lost in this question. It's like, honestly, how is it possible for a man, the average man? See, and most of y'all don't even have the fucking average man. Y'all
you got below average. Yeah.
Average. So you can't even fucking speak on the average man.
Dropping you off in your car.
Exactly.
And you paying for his shoes and clothes. So you telling me
the average nigga you want in this world, and fuck the average nigga. Let me correct that, because sometimes I'm going to say nigga on this show, but it does not necessarily mean what y'all think it mean. I mean all you motherfuckers. So listen, the average man, right, makes $44,000 per year. 44, man.
Are you sure? Did you
40?
From the Census
Listen, Bureau? Look it up. 2019 is 44,000. 44,720 to be exact. You feel me? According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Ooh.
That's the average.
Oh.
So how the fuck on the average worker's salary
buy you titties, ass cheeks, and Birkin bags?
Exactly. And you still want him? Now, could he do it? You're motherfucking right. You know why? Because you're still gonna live in the projects, bitch. Understand
That's what I was saying. Where did your grandparents live? Because
exactly.
My grandparents, they both, my grandfather retired before my grandmother, right? So she still continued to work when he retired. They both had separate checking accounts. Mm-hmm. They went from apartment to house to rent this house to buy a new house. So they had a home in a middle class Black neighborhood where everyone went to work. Everyone was professional.
And niggas was broke.
No, they wasn't broke.
With you.
And then when they retired, they bought land and house in Virginia, you know what I mean, for their retirement home. So they were the American dream that we speak of, right?
Yeah.
But they both worked. So not to say that my grandmother was very strong. My grandfather was the head of the household. She was very strong though, but they both
When you thinking
worked.
about that though, think about how blessed your grandmother was. You feel me? She was working.
Right.
The average woman back then was only being taken care of because they couldn't work.
Right. They couldn't have credit. They couldn't get loans.
If they did work, it was such a bullshit job that I'd rather keep you home than pay a fucking babysitter. Look, you're going to take care of the kids because it's cheaper versus me paying a babysitter and I'm going broke doing that.
Well, no, that depends because black women have always been employable. right? So black women have always had jobs as domestics. Black women have always had some sort of income, even though, so they were always employable, even if they chose to stay home.
Depending upon who was in their family, because you have to have a support system to be
right.
You just now had 2 kids. There's no way possible for you to be.
My family, I will say again, then the grandparent, like the grandparents have always cared for the children.
Exactly.
In my family,
so then you have a different support
generation.
system, but it's not like that for everyone.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about that. So let's just think about today. You feel me? Your average home costs about what, $200,000. So let's say your average home in an okay neighborhood
in
is
Maryland.
in Maryland. So let's be specific. In Maryland, it's about $200,000. You got a dude that makes $44,000. You feel me? Fuck that.
I think our household income is like 70-some thousand.
Let's give them a bump.
Average.
Let's give them a bump because y'all want to keep acting like y'all ain't dating the average nigga. So let's give them a $55,000 income. So now you got $55,000, but you owe $200 on the house. How the fuck a $200 mortgage is somewhere around probably about $13 with your renter's insurance if you ain't fucking was able to put down $20K. So now you're paying about $14. Let's say about $1,400 a month. How the fuck is that possible in this income without this nigga being broke? See, this is one thing that I always laugh when people be like, my grandfather did it or my father did it. Nigga, your father ain't in none of the motherfucking family pictures. And when he is in the family picture, he holding your fucking little brother. Your little brother look like he don't even know who the fuck this nigga is holding him.
Because he been working all day.
He been working this whole, and he gonna die at fucking 60 because he fucking tired.
Right.
He's tired as fuck. You done worked this nigga to death. Now, he did it because he had to. It was the best choice. He didn't do, a lot of people aren't doing that shit because they want to. They had to. And as a man, we stand up. We do what the fuck we need to do for our family. And if that means I got to go out early, then cool. But why the fuck as a woman that's supposed to be in love and respect with this nigga, would you want to kill him like that?
But I think there's a way it can be done, right? If we sit down, if we're not materialistic, if we don't get the biggest house or if we get the most messed up house on the block and refurbish it.
Yeah, but then
right?
your kids get it. See?
But wait a minute.
That was okay with our grandparents shit. It was okay. But now the worst house, you feel me? Think about it.
No, what I'm saying is if we get the worst house on the block and then refurbish it, you can still get into a good neighborhood. Because when I also grew up, my grandfather fixing everything, remodeling the basement, fixing everything in the house, right? So if you have a man like
your brothers
that.
and sisters got lead though.
No, we don't have lead.
Y'all do.
We're not from Baltimore. We don't have lead paint
eating
poisoning.
Paint chips because you was waiting for your fucking grandfather to fix the fucking
He
reality.
fixed it up before I was born.
I got a friend.
But pause. No,
Go
listen.
ahead.
Because there's a way that I feel like there's a way that it can be done because I do really think that our communities would be better in some ways if we had more moms home, right? So I think that if we were willing to not keep up with the Joneses, if we were okay without having Jordans, if we were okay without having the best car on the block, like if we were okay with cutting those expenses and really, really, really taking the time to raise your family, with your mom cooking, cleaning, either homeschooling you or being there for you when you get home to do your homework, really nurturing you. No.
All right, no food stamps and
I also grew up with a garden in the backyard.
no, but this you saying that it could be done, right?
Right. So I think it can be done, but you would have to be very intentional, right? You would have to be very intentional. The average family, no, and I wouldn't expect my partner to have to pay for everything. I would, and I also would like some independence. Like, I mean, well, what am I going to be doing after the kids get to high school?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Then I got to go work in the supermarket and no shade to supermarket workers, but is that my only option? Because now I've done nothing but raise my kids. I don't have an identity outside of my kids. Like people act like being a stay-at-home mom is so lazy and they're not doing anything all day. Them women are going crazy, just talking to kids all day.
All right, so look, let's just break this shit down because I love the way that your mental just work because I know you're a different breed, so you don't really understand this shit like I want you to. The average fucking American is making $44,000 a year, Carmen.
Not in Maryland.
That's about $900 per check. That's before taxes, my nigga. Don't laugh yet. That's before taxes. Uncle, fuck what you need done. I need my cut. Going want what? About what?
30%.
Exactly. So what we at now?
600.
We at 600. you gotta motherfucking, we in 2020.
you got benefits.
You gotta have fucking insurance on them.
Yeah.
So now and it's a family of what? Let's say 3. Fuck it. Let's say 3 because you done married her and now you're really fucked up. So now your 600 is down to about fucking 450. Mm-hmm. All right, so 450. Your 401k, if you're a smart motherfucker, you at least want to have
6 to 10%.
Exactly. So what we down about? 375.
It can be done.
Let's say because the 401k was before taxes, so fuck it. Let's just take us down to 445, right? 445 times 4, because it's 4 weeks, is about 1780. Where? How the fuck is it being done?
But maybe she does hair, or maybe, out the kitchen, or maybe she does hair, or maybe, she gets the kids after school for the neighborhood and gets a couple of dollars for watching kids in the neighborhood. Or maybe, she has some sort of little side hustle that keeps them afloat for like the food and some household items.
Side hustles is not guaranteed. And that's my point. See, it sounds like most people, all right, so fuck it. We're going to, on my opinion is this. Bitch, I ain't paying all of the motherfucking bills. Point motherfucking blank. I don't know what type of dummy you think I am. I will not be the nigga in the family picture nodding the fuck off and not know my fucking children because your ass want to motherfucking say a real man supposed to pay all the bills. Fuck that. I pay all the big ones. You better pay something in this motherfucking house.
I don't think that a man has to pay all the bills. I don't think it's feasible in 2020 America. Now
you do have some niggas. Let's confuse.
But some people can.
You have some niggas that can do it. You feel
and
me?
Are
if
your
nigga
doing
out
it.
that motherfucker making 300,000. Nigga, he might could do anything you need done for him. Plus, you get the Birkin bag,
or even 150. If I'm making 150 and you gonna go out and make 60, you might as well just stay home.
But if your nigga motherfucking out there selling drugs, bitch, you better get a job and you better motherfucking prepare for this shit not to motherfucking be forever.
And expand that. Or cracking cards,
you
ladies.
better make that shit last. You better learn how to flip a motherfucking pack or something because if that nigga go down, you better motherfucking be ready to step up. See, that's one of the biggest problems, nigga. A bitch want a nigga to pay everything, but you ain't even ready to step up when that nigga fall. I had one bitch tell me, she say, I still got my job just because a nigga gonna pay me, just because he gonna pay all my bills like a real man supposed to. I still got my job, and if he ever fall, I'm right there. Bitch, what are you doing with your money then?
Saving it, investing it.
Saving it for what? For
just
if you
in case
fucking
a
leave
rainy
me, you
day.
The rainy day could be you no longer want me.
Or the rainy day could be he breaks his leg.
Man, fuck that. And then you really don't like it. What if the rainy day is he break his dick? Now you really don't fucking want me.
Oh, well, that happens eventually anyway.
Yeah, that's my point. Then fuck that shit. The fuck, you better pay every put something in on this motherfucking. I ain't no nigga. I'm trying to get all the money from you or nothing like that, but bitch,
so if you could afford to have your lady stay home and you pay all the bills, would that not be fulfilling for you?
I fuck with a gangster, so point fucking.
No, we're not talking about. We're talking hypothetically because I know that's not going to happen.
Hypothetically,
because I know the
any female that
I
I deal with that I take serious, she better be a motherfucking gangster. And the gangsters I fuck with, point blank. My children's mother, I asked her to go ahead and stay home with the children. But she a G. She ain't with that shit because she don't want to see me out here fucking busting my ass all day and she not contributing nothing to the plate financially other than a little, you feel me? And guess what we do? We split everything as far as what we doing. She ain't in here. We ain't got no motherfucking women chores or no man chores or nothing, man. Look, I'm out this bitch. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm doing everything. We rock like we supposed to. You feel me? And money is not an issue. We don't that the fuck. If you need money, I got you. If I need money, you should have me. I don't give a fuck about none of that other stuff.
Yeah, so I grew up like that. A man put the food on the table at 7 o'clock every day in my house.
We gonna rock out like we supposed to rock out, but I ain't about to motherfucking be. I'm just not with the. Now that's a difference. Understand this, yo. We in a world that women make more than men.
Yeah, that's another thing.
So you're telling me that a nigga making 44,000 and then you got a motherfucking woman that's making 70,000 because you're the man, you supposed to pay everything. You sound like a fucking fool. Fuck that. Listen, my pride is not that motherfucking big.
But do you still want to be the head of the household though? I'm making $100,000. You making 35, but you making the big decisions.
Well, head of the household means that you fuck with a nigga that you're willing to follow. See, it has. Nothing.
I agree, but I'm just saying.
Niggas comparing this shit to motherfucking the times and the days that niggas was going out to catch they food. If a bitch give me a motherfucking spear right now and you want me to go catch her some motherfucking chicken, have my bail money because these farms gonna lock me the fuck out. Whatever the fuck it is. What I'm saying is, if that's how we rocking, then that's how we rocking, and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna get our food. You feel me? And you gonna come back, I'm gonna give it to you, and you gonna motherfucking rub some rocks and sticks together, and you gonna make a fire, you gonna cook this shit, and that's how we gonna eat. You gonna feed the baby with a dinosaur bone, and you gonna let him suck on the dinosaur bone or some dumbass shit. This shit is all historic is what I'm saying.
It's not US 2020.
Yeah, it doesn't equal out to what the fuck we're doing today. And I'm not willing. I wouldn't want no lady to be a dependent upon me. You feel me? That is literally the problem that a lot of our females is stuck in today.
Yeah,
because the nigga done passed away. You feel me? Yeah. He had no real insurance or the motherfucking funeral.
No savings.
Yeah, like you get what I'm saying? So it's how can he save when the nigga?
And we, as women, we have to remember that in these patriarchal societies where men did all of
the men were make 44,000.
No, wait a minute. In these patriarchal societies, historically, where men were really leading the household, and and women were really staying home and only taking care of the home. Once your husband died, it was a wrap for you. It was open season if you didn't have no grown sons to take care of you. So, like, we either want some of it, we either want all of it or none of it.
Man, point motherfucking blank, you better put something in that pot too, bitch, or you ain't eating. Point motherfucking blank. But it's motherfucking almost time for us to go, and
yes, because I'm tired of Ty, y'all.
I still ain't fucking talked to Ed. This nigga was supposed to bring me my motherfucking liquor again.
I'm glad he didn't.
Look, we gonna call that nigga. Fuck that shit. Fuck that. We gonna call that nigga and see what the fuck is going on.
Ed, don't answer.
Nah, we gonna see what the fuck Ed is doing.
Where's Ed at?
We gonna see where the fuck he at.
Yo.
Ed, yo, this 2 weeks in a goddamn row, yo. You still ain't brought my liquor, bro. What is up, man?
Ty, babe, listen. I'm fucked up, man. I'm fucked up.
What?
Man, me and my chick was beefing all morning, man. I found out that this bitch, Jada was her fucking idol, man. She was having an entanglement too.
She fucking
had an entanglement.
Oh,
mother.
She had an entanglement too, bro, and it fucked me up. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing I want to know, I said, babe, look, I know this shit over, but just tell me one thing. What's his shit bigger than mine? The bitch gonna say his shit. She gonna say his shit was bigger than yours and your brother's.
And your brother.
No. And my brother's, bro. Bro, I'm fucked up.
So what you really
Help
mad
me
about? We're trying to get to the bottom of it, bro. We're trying to get to the bottom of it. So, are you mad that it was
somebody was getting to the bottom of her, bro? That's the problem.
Are you mad?
A nigga was laying there and spraying her, bro.
God.
And she fucked my brother. What I'm gonna do about this? I'm fucked up, Tom. I'm pulled over in the parking lot crying, nigga.
First of all, you need to get off child support because they probably not your children, bro.
Yeah.
I got to do a test now, bro. I'm fucked up. My brother, another nigga, and me, bro.
Yo, I'm gonna cash app you some money, yo. I'm gonna pay for one of the tests, bro. I got you.
Thanks a lot, Pimp. Yo, I promise I'll be there next week, yo. Real shit, man.
Look,
I promise you I'm gonna be in that bitch next week.
You handle your business, man.
Keep your head up, Ed.
It's just, man.
All right, bro. Thanks, yo.
All right, man. Thank you, man.
All right.
So, we want to thank y'all for tuning in to episode 3, Cards Face Up Podcast. Listen, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank you. Continue sharing. Continue posting this shit everywhere. Let's make this the biggest fucking podcast in America. This your boy Ty Hill, a.k.a. fuck them all. That bitch better put something in the pot.
This your girl Carmen. Don't forget to like and subscribe, a.k.a. Mr. Hill gets on my last nerve.
Cards Face Up Podcast. We are everywhere. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you.